Hey there, folks. Got a ring order to finish up here for Seattle. It's a dogfish ring. One millimeter thick. Made by me. Okay, here it goes. I've already cut the ends. She's ready to bend. That doesn't work doing it that way. Get the ends to meet up nice. That's pretty close. Pretty close there. Now we're on to getting it ready for soldering. What we're doing here, wax on the blade, candle wax, real easy, and I'm looking right at my line, gonna drag it on my line nice and lightly. Because I want my blade to cut both sides of the metal so that when it meets up in the middle, it meets up as one cut piece of metal. That's the whole point of doing this very lightly. It takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it. And you get a nice, very solid looking ring, very good surface to work with. So later on I'm going to engrave that surface, make this a custom designed 11.75 is the size. Now it's getting very difficult to go through, so I apply a little bit of force, pull my blade back out, and I should have a good cut by the feel of that. That looks very close. Looking pretty sharp, I think. The cut is very good. I see no gap in there. Usually look for a gap right along there. So everything looks pretty tight. So I'm going to solder it. I took another look at it. If you look really close, you can see the big gap in there. That doesn't work for me. I don't want to see that line. So we cut it again. Back to the wax. And this time I'm going to pinch it the whole time so that I have a very clean cut. Both sides, the middle. Same as last time, but this time I have to kind of force it all the way through because it's as tight as I can pinch it. A little bit tougher to do this time, but quicker, as you see. Now, let's see what we got. Yeah, better. Moved a little bit this way. That. See, we're playing with 1/2 millimeters sometimes, 1/4 millimeters. Has to be very, very dead on. For me, anyway. I don't know. See, that's super nice now. Everything looks really good. I got a solid line of silver there, that's what I like to see. I got a flat surface on this side where I cut it. See? Might be ready for solder. Okay, almost ready. Use some flux. I don't have a paintbrush, so I'm using the traditional Domino's Pizza applicator high to style. I'm gonna dip a bunch of this flux in here, get it ready. There we go. Using a typical solder torch. Usually good to have a lighter around. It's actually a good idea to have a lighter. Here we go. Okay. Oh shit. Hold on. I just got to make some solder up. Okay, so here's my solder. This is a easy solder. It's a little bit easier to work with in the name. I call it lazy solder because it's got a little bit more alloy than hard solder. Hard solder is more silver, so it's a little, I don't know, it's more difficult to work with, and it so I'm just filling up a tiny little lid of this flux again. It's my fire tweezers, that's what they're called. So I'm just going to dip my little piece of solder in here, get her all there. Bit of a process, but it works. So, see that? Now it's clean, ready to solder. I'm going to set that on top of there. Now I get out my high to style paintbrush. Warm this guy up a tiny bit. Put some solder on there. Not solder, but flux. Yeah, don't ever. If you can find a paintbrush, it's way better. I'm just being a little bit lazy today. Yeah. Just warming it up a little bit. It's more flux ready. Boom. A little bit more heat. Almost there. Okay. It's all ready. The whole surface should be clean. I'm going to heat it a little bit more on this side just because it's right up against the tweezers. Now it should be ready. Now that was just to get the whole metal surface so that it would accept the solder properly, which was over by my other stuff. Here's the solder piece again. Now we're gonna put this over here for a sec. Oh no, I dropped it. Most times it's faster to cut another one. Okay. So let's get another piece of solder. That one's cut a little weird, but it still works. I want just enough solder so that it fills that tiniest little saw. So, backwards we go. I usually dip it a couple times, try it again. So again, you're dipping this in flux to sanitize the whole surface. Let's flip this guy around. Oh goodness. Put my solder down for a sec. I usually like that. My solder on the bottom. There. Okay, almost ready. Time for some solder. Okay, now let's get this little guy on here. Soldered, right on the line. Close to it, somewhere like that. And that's how I would set it up. Basically just stick it close to the line. Normally solder is going to run all over anyway, so the solder will get in that whole line. And what I'm doing is heating up the whole ring. I'm trying to do it a little evenly so that instead of trying to melt the solder, I'm trying to get the metal to melt the solder. So once the metal melts the solder, then it fuses everything together and it comes together really clean and really nice. You see it heating up there? It's getting hot. And that's easy solder, so this shouldn't last very long. Well, it's getting all white. I heat up both sides, the top. Everything's getting red. Come around, around, around. And it's getting redder. Metal tends to go towards where the heat is, so I bring the heat to the bottom. Bring the heat to the bottom. Then I'll pull my solder down to the bottom through the whole cut. That's my intent. There it goes, see it? And gonzo. Melt the top a little bit, the inside. Go around, I think I'm done. There you have a solder job. Thanks folks. Have a good one.